Hey, everybody. Welcome to CarBiz Leaders Live with Rachel Blatt, your host. I'm so excited. I have a very special guest. You're going to absolutely love him as much as I do. He's a 26-year-old car veteran, been in the business for a long time, and is just one of my favorite people on the planet. So, without further ado, can't wait to get this principal's office off to a good start and have a great show. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. Here we go. Teesh, 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 teesh. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Today we are having technical difficulties like a Mo. So,
How are you, Rachel?
so good. So good to have you on my show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to
Uh,
spend with me.
I'm
You're
glad
the
to be on
man.
your show. I know you and I talked about this for a while to do a podcast together, and this is something I'm actually looking forward to. Just it's a little lagging, so keep that in mind. I'll try to be as responsive as I can.
You're doing wonderful. Normally, we have good internet. Today, it must be the storms.
Possible.
We're going to blame it on Mother Nature.
Always blame it on Mother Nature.
Okay, let's get this party started. Kind of go through. I know it's always her fault. You want to
So
introduce
I have a
yourself to our
question for you
audience?
before you start. So the principal's office, is does it mean like a principal as a principal in high school, or is it a principal as a principal for a business, let's say? Is it?
Well, you're a dealer principal.
Got it.
So the principal's office is kind of like getting advice from like the man,
The
right?
man.
Like the
Yeah,
guy.
in-
Yeah, the big boss.
Initially, I thought it's the principal's office, and I try to avoid the principal's office. I've always avoided the principal's office.
I, I like I like to say it's the only principal's office that you would want to go to.
That's
That's the joke there.
sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So let's talk about uh if you want to introduce yourself
Sure.
um and a little bit about your career and your business and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So, as you know, my name is Willie Fawaz, and as you mentioned, I'm a 46 years old human being. A little over 26 years in business. I'm an Egyptian American, so I'm an immigrant that was raised here.
Mhm.
In like my teenage stage and upward. Studied at a city university. I went to Queens College and York College, and I'm a major in business, minor in finance. Worked for lots of dealerships, and currently I'm a principal of a dealership. So also, just not to forget,
Fabulous.
I'm a father
So we,
of two boys
yeah,
and happily married to my
yeah.
lovely
I
wife,
love
20
your son
years.
is
This
gorgeous,
kid,
by the
she's
way, and
youngest.
not yeah. Is he gonna inherit the business?
Um,
Is
so
he gonna inherit the business, Willie? Do you think?
yeah, so he listen, he has my oldest son, he's 18, he's an athlete. He's going to play soccer at University of New Haven. So currently he's the focus is on the athletic part of his life. But there's always talks that we want to make this business bigger. He wants to take over and we expand it and do this and that. He's sharp, he's brilliant, he loves business, and hopefully, if this is the career he wants to take over, I'll support whatever he likes.
Yeah, he's like a star athlete. Uh, you guys are picking out colleges right now, right?
We made decisions. He decided on New Haven, so he is gonna start playing and studying in New Haven. He's doing a business.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year program, doing a business program with masters in finance.
Fabulous. I like him already. Get the finance knowledge. It's always an area I struggle with.
Really?
So speaking of, I do sometimes. I spend too much money. I try to like reel it in. I think it's the woman in me. You know, it like I have to do hair and makeup to come on. You just get to show up. That's the
Yep.
difference.
Well, I have to do my hair too. Just
uh,
didn't take me as long.
Speaking of, if finances are a challenge for me, love it. I love it. You're doing great. I didn't know that you were Egyptian American, by the way. That's a fun fact I did not know.
Mm,
So thank you for sharing that.
thank you.
Um, so finance is a struggle for me. What area would you say you struggle in? Kind of like keeps you up at night?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I've always been like, good at most of the business aspects. I wanted to be good at the business from the selling perspective, financing perspective. So I worked initially in small businesses where I learned the business thoroughly. So
Yeah.
whether it was D&B, BDC, sales, service, fixing. So but if I have to say one thing that I hate the most about the business, it has to be paperwork. So I like to do
Mhm.
anything when it comes to closing, financing, buying, selling. I don't care. But when you give me paperwork, it's my weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. I struggle with that as well because I think it's my ADD, just being honest. But you have to do it perfectly, and it takes a lot of attention to detail for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so you took a long time in sales and vehicle finance. You know, a lot of dealerships are facing challenges right now. We got a lot of EVs coming out. We have the
I'm sorry. Can you repeat this? I lost you for a second.
Sure, I'm so sorry. And of course, it's Mother Nature's fault. Um, when it comes to like the challenges of our industry, right? Like the interest rate hikes, um, used car prices going up and down. What would you say has been some of your challenges, and how have you overcome that in terms of the industry
Sure. So,
and what it's
you
facing right
know,
now?
if we talk about current problems that we have right now, in my eyes, it's not the interest. People, listen, humans tend to adapt and they adapt quickly. So if I tell someone a year ago, listen, I'm going to sign you on a 6, 7% interest as a prime rate, they would have probably shot me. Right now, people are adapted to the higher interest. So this is not an issue in terms of in terms of selling cars. The biggest issue that
Right.
probably dealers face right now is finding the right inventory. So finding the right cars, being able to, let's say if you're
Hmm.
in the pre-owned market, you want to get the right inventory, the right condition cars. The shortage still, from my perspective, on inventory for pre-owned, and there's a lot of like bad inventory out there. So if I go and buy 100 cars a month, let's say, out of which literally 40, 50% I either arbitrate, all right, or I just wholesale because it's just not even a unit that I can resale in my lot. So this has to be the biggest issue right now for dealerships, okay, or at least for me. And in order for me to keep up with it, it's a constant work. It's literally at night purchasing, in the morning, 12 midnight, watching a show, taking a phone call as I'm off, trying to see a couple of good deals here and there. So that is my problem right now in the business.
Yeah. How many cars are you bidding on to get I mean, just to give everybody perspective, like how many cars do you have to bid on to get like one or two right now?
Sure. So I like to get to buy 10% of what I bid on. All right. So in order for me to buy, let's
Okay.
say 100 cars a month, I mean it, I can bid on a
Yeah.
thousand car a month. And even a lot of these times I bid on
And
cars with no intention to buy 'em. It's I look at probabilities and statistics. And I'm a number guy. So I like the fact, okay, listen, I'm still within. It works for me that if the 10% of what I bid I buy,
mhm.
if I want to get 100, I have to bid on 1,000 cars.
That's a very interesting tactic, Willie, that I've never heard anybody say before, but I believe it to be true in my heart, right? Because uh, um, it's like that bell curve of life, right? Like 10% not gonna, and 10% is gonna be, I like to say, crack some asses, where you really win. So in life.
Right.
And so I totally understand that. So you just average bid it and just make it happen. I love that. Do you ever get cars from those bids? Like I wasn't planning on buying it, but you ended up winning it.
A lot of times I'm like, a
How did
lot
those?
of times I'm like, fuck, I just bought this car. But you know what? Listen,
I love that.
being for a
I
long
love.
time in the business, Rachel, it gives you the edge. So I don't like, listen, the business is a process that we follow every day, right? Every month, every year. So every day, every beginning of the month, right? We start to, make the, quota or the target that we have to, and we meet that at the end of the month or close to it. Then we flip that the following month nonstop. All right. And it's not a surprise. So you sort of keep the process going. I know that I'm going to buy this car even if I overpay or even if I don't like it. And I know I'm going to sell it because I've always sold cars. Okay. So whether or not I
Right.
overpay for a car, I bought a car that I thought, oh my God, I just got a, stick shift, no sunroof, X5. All right. I know there's
Yeah.
somewhere there.
I
There's
drive
always ass for every seat. That's how I believe.
I drive it. I love a stick shift, man. All right. So let's I do. I drove one for like I'm a sucker and I don't think sports cars, that are automatic. I'm like, wussies, but that's just my personal opinion. Um so tell me about like you've had a lot of success over the years. You know you can sell it. Um Share with me kind of like your problem solving process. Like, you were talking about some the statistical stuff. I think that's good. That's good meat and potatoes right there.
Right.
I'd like you to kind of expand on that.
Sure. So, listen, I
What are
mean,
some
listen,
other tactics
numbers don't lie.
and things that
Definitely. So, as I told you, I've always been a numbers person, and it always worked. If you know
Mhm.
that the month of August is your hottest month, is the month that we sell the most cars in, it never fails. All right, unless we have something, Mother Nature, as you mentioned, or something outside of our control, pandemic, a disaster, terrorist attack, something that we cannot control. The rule of thumb is, comes August, we're going to be busy. All right. So I look at the business as a process, and I look at it from an aggregate perspective. So I look at every quarter how much money I make. I don't care if I lose money on a car. Sometimes I make bad buys. I'm the bad purchases. I'm not. Nobody's perfect. I think I'm the best in the business, but I still think that I make mistakes. And with the mistakes, the quicker I can correct them, the more I can salvage these losses. And this is my process every day. I look at my aggregate. I look at my monthly aggregate. I look at a couple of cars that I have to sell because I have good profit. Let me
Yeah.
get rid of them. I look at some losses that I have to show because I'm making a lot more money. I want to write
Right.
off some of these taxes, and that's how I look at the business. I look at the bigger picture. Never looked at one item in it only.
I think that's critical. And I have this saying, the speed of money is fast. And I love it how you kind of quickly look at the problems that are happening in your business and try to solve them as quickly as possible, in order to make sure that you still remain profitable and successful. Um, some of the mistakes might include like a bad buy or such
Yeah. So
as,
some of the mistakes will be a bad buy. So listen, a bad buy doesn't mean that the car is bad. All right, like
right,
mechanically it's bad, or a bad buy could be it's just I don't like know how to sell these cars. I don't have that clientele, or I thought, let's say you look at like market reports and car gurus, you look at, let's say, a Mazda Miata. One of the cars, I want to give you a specific example. One of the cars that I thought that I can make good money with, it's not my market, but I said, you know what? There's a couple of cars only around me within a 50 miles radius. This is a good car that probably people will be scarce. People will be looking for it. I ended up making
right.
the greatest loss I've ever made in one car. Okay, but I had to move on. you know.
Yeah,
So
happens.
yeah, so it's not only a bad purchase in terms of a mechanical. It could be a bad purchase in terms of this car is not moving well right now in the market, or I'm not the kind of guy that can sell these cars.
Yeah,
So the fastest you can correct this, okay, the more likely you'll be able actually to move on with the least losses possible. I'm not a guy that like to hold on to
right.
a product or a unit for the longest time. There's a guy for it. If the unit doesn't sell quick enough to me, I can flip it, make more money with that money.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Right, right. Um, Now you were, and we use bad buy as kind of like our car lingo language, but you and I have talked about this in multiple mechanical issues, but you make sure. I think one of your secret sauces, and we've talked about this before, is like how you fix up everything too, and you mechanically prepare. And I think a lot of people, when they're out there buying cars, you know, they don't want to do that. But some areas are like these are fixable. Um, and how did you turn that particular aspect into a money generating aspect for your business?
Sure. So I listen. I first of all, I think I've always believed for two things. Number one, I like to go to sleep at night. All right. So I like to do
Yeah.
right by people. This is how I am. All right, and because sleep is important to me. I don't know about you, but it's important to me. Uh, what I
Yeah.
like to do, yeah. So what I like to do is to properly. I believe that if I am making money on something, which is I'm entitled, this is the business we're in, and I have to make
Right.
profit, and that's understood. What I like to do is if I'm making money, I want to go above and beyond in terms of service. I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm prepping this car thoroughly. I don't want to cut corners. I want to make sure that this customer is happy. And I've always believed, and it's always been proven, that
Right.
low gross, okay, is always high grief. High gross, customer is super happy. All right. So when you make a lot of money on the car, okay, or you make decent money on the car. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say a lot of money, but the normal profit. You have the room to prep this car properly. You have the room to absorb anything that comes after sale, whether it's repair or something. So customer is an easier
Hmm.
going client. Okay, customer is not dollar driven. It's not only about the money to him. It's about the whole experience. It's about the obviously the value of the car, how good of a deal, how good of a car. So the more money I've made on a car has always been the less headache I've had from this car, and vice versa.
Oh yeah. I love how that the universe does that to us. Don't you? Isn't that funny? Um, it's a paradox actually. So I appreciate that, and um because I think what a lot of people want is to make their customers happy at the end of the day. Like, and I believe that the relationship is important and you don't want to upset anybody for any reason, you know. Um, and so those are the things that I think are like mega important. What else would you say in terms of success is like mega important to you in in your dealership?
Sure. I listen. I swear by consistency. So I have this like principle that I follow all the time is I'm consistent in everything that I do. So every morning I expect that I go to work at that specific time to perform whatever duties I have to do. Every morning I expect that I have a problem to
Yeah.
resolve. So I like to be one step ahead. All right. So if I'm going to work thinking, hey, today's going to be a nice day, I'm not going to have issues and blah, 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 typically you're going to have the shittiest day and you have the most issues you can have. And you're not going to be prepared to do. So my method is to be one step ahead, expect the issues, okay, like literally anticipate them to happen and have resolution to them and be one step ahead before they become bigger. All right. So for instance, I'll give you an example. If I cannot satisfy a customer, I'm taking the car back. All right. And I have no problem telling that. And listen, if I can
Yeah.
make you happy, whether I'm selling a 100 grand car or 20 grand car, if I can make this customer happy, I'm taking this product back. I'll move on. I'll give you money, nothing deducted, full refund. I'm going to go after my sales tax. I'm going to go after all the fees that I paid
Right.
and basically move on. All right. And that gives me that peace of mind that it doesn't matter what problem it is. As worse as taking the car back, for a lot of people, it's a nightmare. All right. But as worse as taking the car back, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, my I wrote these things down. Consistency, one step ahead, and expect the issues and be ready to solve them. Like that to me was like such genius right there. Appreciate that. Okay, we are going to the rapid fire round where I ask you short little quick questions and we'll see how this does with our internet issues today. Okay, ready
Ready.
for our are you an early bird or a night owl?
Super early.
Do you Are you an Android guy or an iPhone guy?
iPhone.
Okay. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
If I had a superpower, I've always wanted to be a Batman, to be honest with you.
I didn't hear your superpower. I want to hear it again.
I've always wanted to be Batman, rich and strong.
Rich and strong. Yeah, he's got the good life.
Mhm.
What song pumps you up and gets you motivated?
Oh gosh, what song pumps me up and get me motivated? I'm a very old school guy. Quickly, I like anything Guns N' Roses. Will get me going.
Okay, we are best friends. I already knew it. I already knew it. Um, Beach or skiing?
Beach. I'm sorry, I lost you.
And
Yeah.
favorite car model of all time?
Favorite car model of all time,
I know.
quickly,
Favorite
will
car model of all time.
will be a Porsche.
Are you a 911 guy? Is it the
I love
911? Why
911.
does that speak to
I love 911s.
they're hot cars?
Yeah.
Stick shift only for me.
Oh,
Gotta be the
100%.
stick. All right. Now we've come to the end, but if you are, let's say out there that are watching our show, and they will later on, usually people do, what would you say is your best advice for them?
Uh, I listen. I my best advice to car dealers, big or small, is to basically have a plan and stick to it. Make sure you work hard, be consistent, and don't get discouraged because I mean we run into a lot of problems. We have a lot of issues in this business. We're controlled literally by the balls, by the DMV, New York State, or any state that you operate in. Consumer affairs, the DA office. I mean, and the list goes on. But at the end of the day, be consistent, work hard. You're gonna make money. There's a lot of money in this business.
Yeah. Well, my friend, um, couldn't appreciate, and I'm so sorry we had this internet thingamajigger, Mother Nature. But I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart how grateful I am to have you in my life, to learn from you as a business partner and friend. I've You and I have come up with some absolute genius ideas together, and I'm just so thankful that you had the time today to spend with me, and hopefully we do this again and we don't have the laggy leg, but always good looking at your face, and just want to say thank you so much. So um, if anybody is in Huntington, New York, you must go see my friend Willie. He is thebomb.com. And if you need anything else, how do you want people to reach you, reach out to you, say hello, anything
Um,
good?
Listen, I can be followed, Willie Fawaz, on Instagram. That's my username, or on Facebook, or just look me up, huntingtonautomall.net. I would love to hear from people. And I want to thank you very much. I know the internet is a little lagging, and I wanted this to be, to stay to be a little longer. I love chatting with you as always. But thank you
Me
so much for having me. And I would love to do this again at a point.
We for sure will do it again. And like one because you're the greatest and I appreciate you. So
Thank you.
without that, I would to say thank you for tuning in and appreciate you. And we will see you next time on CarBiz Leaders Live in the principal's office. Thanks, guys, for watching.